Let's make some homemade spaghetti bolognese. I got this really fun pasta maker for Christmas and I am super excited to make some homemade pasta. I have tried once before and I wasn't able to get it thin enough, so I'm really excited to be able to use this and really thin that pasta out and see how it turns out. So we're going to start by making the bolognese sauce, which is my favorite sauce to put on spaghetti. We're going to start by preheating the Dutch oven over medium heat and then sauteing 1 onion, 2 medium carrots, and 2 celery ribs. All of these, of course, chopped up. We're gonna add in 1 pound of ground beef and half a pound of ground pork and let that brown. Once the meat is mostly browned, add in half a cup of red wine and let that simmer. Then add in a cup of beef stock, an 8-ounce can of tomato paste, a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 tablespoons of dried parsley, 6 cloves of garlic, and then some salt and pepper, and mix that up well. Bring that to a simmer and then lower the heat to low, close the lid and let it slow cook for about an hour. After about an hour, add in 3/4 a cup of whole milk. You can also add in 2 tablespoons of fresh basil. I couldn't find basil at the store. My store has really been failing me lately with some of these fresh herbs and vegetables. And then close the lid and cook it for another 45 minutes to an hour. And then of course, while our sauce is cooking, let's make some homemade pasta. My sauce recipe made 10 servings and my pasta recipe only made 4 servings. So I ended up doubling my pasta recipe and it made a lot. The recipe is in the description of this video, so you can refer to that for the proper amounts of ingredients. But in a large mixing bowl, create a mound with the flour and make a little well in the center. I like to think of this as making like a little volcano. And then you add in your eggs, salt, and olive oil. Because I had doubled the recipe, my eggs kind of overflowed a little bit. They didn't sit in that little volcano. And then using a fork, beat the eggs gently, then gradually incorporate the flour from the edges of the well into the eggs. And continue doing that until it forms a rough dough. So many of these were my favorite parts of the recipe. Kneading the dough was definitely one. I had so much fun. It made me feel like a kid again. I used to make a lot of things with my friend's mom when I was a kid, and it totally took me back. Also playing with Play-Doh. I think if you are a big Play-Doh kid, make some homemade pasta. So you're gonna knead it for about 8 to 10 minutes until it becomes smooth and elastic. If it's too sticky, just add a little bit more flour as needed. And then wrap the dough in plastic wrap and let it rest for about 20 minutes at room temperature. Okay, now this next part I think is legitimately the best part. Once it's rested, divide the dough into 4 equal pieces and then roll out the dough with your pasta machine to your desired thickness. This was my very first time using the pasta machine, so it kind of took me a minute to figure it out. I had some issues kind of in the beginning, and then I realized that I could kind of strap it to my counter so it wouldn't move, but I was dumb and I strapped it to my cutting board and so it was still moving. So eventually I got it in the right spot, and now we're cooking with fire, baby. I was so excited. Once you roll it through and you get the desired thickness, then you get to roll it through this other little guy that cuts it into the noodles, and they were so cute. I definitely had some like different lengths of noodles going on. It wasn't perfect by any means. I feel like even just this one go around, I learned so much that I would do differently next time, but I was really just kind of figuring it out. I ended up rolling it way thinner than I would have had I used a rolling pin, but I think that I still should have rolled it even thinner. I also realized that my parents had also gotten me like a little drying rack to lay the pasta out on, and I wish that I would have pulled that out because they did kind of clump together a little bit when I put them on the cutting board. So I'll definitely have to make sure to use that next time. But either way, it was a blast, and I cannot wait to do it again and maybe try some of the other shapes. And then I just cooked up the pasta. Like I said, I think it was still a little bit thicker than I would have liked, but it tasted delicious. So when I plated it up, I tried to do like that fun little spaghetti whirl, and it didn't really twirl all that well, and it didn't look the prettiest. But let me tell you, oh my God, this was so good. The sauce especially. The noodles could definitely use some work. Taste-wise, amazing. Look-wise, not perfect. But that sauce, it was so yummy. I can't wait to try this again. If you have any tips on how to make your pasta even better, anything I could do differently, please let me know in the comments. I really have no idea what I'm doing. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.